Early on in this process, someone listened to my concept quietly and then ripped through my points and discounted my ideas thoroughly. I listened to him, shared some of my process and thinking, but by the end of our talk, started questioning the viability of what I was proposing. Right before we ended, he stopped me and said thoughtfully, "If I can offer you any advice at all, it is to stick with your gut. You have a great vision, and there will always be naysayers. If we stop because of them, we will never be able to achieve innovation."
I think it's really easy for us to get caught in the mundane, day-to-day work and to not give ourselves the time and space that we need to dedicate to thinking outside the box.
I think the biggest obstacle to innovation is a lack of shared vision.
The biggest obstacle to innovation is inertia.
The biggest obstacles to innovation are doubts that new ideas can be practical.
I'd be thrilled if we just saw a discussion about the creation of a sovereign wealth fund in the United States, let alone actual legislation and an establishment.
I like to say our commitment to one another runs as deep as the valleys in which we live. Our innovation has been tested in this collaboration.
Change intimidates people, and so what we want to do by building these relationships is create a situation where people see change as an opportunity to do a better job.
We all know women who worked hard for their entire lives only to end up as poor as church mice in their old age. For me, that woman was my grandmother. When I compare the economy my grandmother lived in to our modern, consumer-driven economy, one thing remains the same. It's hard to make ends meet.
I believe that America can be better for everyone when everyone has the opportunity to live out our own individual dreams.
There is probably a myriad of reasons why people fall into poverty, but I think once an individual is trapped in poverty, the main barrier he or she faces is this sense of not being competitive. From that aspect, I think poverty has a transformational phase that changes from a physical state of being into a psychological state of mind.
Community is like a hearty soup, a mix of people from all walks of life that come together to comfort, sometimes upset, but ultimately to enrich.
Po mitaku oyase. We are all related.
For me, community is people coming together from varied backgrounds, interests, and ideas, striving to make a better place. From that shared vision, hope transforms place.
A community is a group of people and resources with shared values and visions that come together to stand for their values, work towards their values, or represent their values to those not in their community.
My community is all Americans and a legacy for all future generations.
Community is connectivity. In any neighborhood, small businesses, residents, employees all need each other. Small businesses are the foundation of a community's economy and thus a key driver to that connection.
My definition of community is everyone working together to improve the human condition.
My idea of a community is a group that shares some level of common characteristics. They may be linked by shared ideas or curiosity about similar issues, and their interests or actions connect them up in some important ways.
Langston Hughes said, when people care for you and cry for you, they can straighten out your soul. It doesn't matter if they're the same color as you or they pray to the same God as you do. That's your community.
You know, Karl Popper, the preeminent philosopher of our times, once said that optimism is not a virtue, it's a responsibility.
One child's plea will always be with me. She simply wanted a door. She lived in a 1969 failing trailer with no heat or plumbing. Today, Rebecca has a door and a new room and a home for which her parents faithfully make their timely payments.
We are going to change the economic expectations of people with disabilities.
Honestly, I don't think many meaningful things are accomplished by a single individual working in total isolation.
I think collaboration is important because it's both the end we seek and the means to that end.
I'm inspired by our clients. We may provide them with loans, but they are the ones that take those loans and work hard every day to build something for themselves and their families.
My kids are my inspiration, of course, because I love them and I want a great American future for them, but also because raising kids teaches us how much work and how much investment maintaining our economic edge and our economic future really requires. It really requires day-to-day work, hard work, and investment.
My students inspire me in their learning and the excitement they show when they have mastered a standard and are able to demonstrate it.
I am inspired by anyone who accepts the responsibility of leadership, who undertakes it responsibly, and who figuratively or literally puts on a pair of work gloves to get things done for others.
We all have limitations. Sometimes we accept those limitations too readily. When people told my father something was impossible, he just tried harder until what was impossible became his reality.
Ordinary people who rise above challenges and beat the odds every day are optimists. They are the ones who inspire me.